But to me, the key is it incremental? When I first came in, the board was very of the view that you were just giving money away with Amazon. Or with Roku channels or with Apple channels. Actually, what you find is it's 80 to 90% incremental.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Marion Ranchet. I'm the founder of Streaming Made Easy. And as often, I love to have great conversation with fascinating people about topics that are interesting. And this one I'm doing in partnership with Bengo. We're going to be talking about super aggregation bundles. And I'm bringing you, she's an OG. You've been in this business for a few years.
Quite a while.
Just like we met years ago, we know each other. But you've been in this space for a long time and you've grown an amazing service, a service that I love and a service I would like to see in the Netherlands. So I like, what's going on with that. Without further ado, this is Kerry Ball. You're from BritBox.
I am, although my position has changed recently. So I'm now
tell me more.
In BBC and global channels and services, but I still am involved with BritBox from an international
perspective.
Side. But yes, my previous role as of a few months ago was Chief Commercial Officer at BritBox.
And so, okay, so we can talk about, the wider BBC. So BritBox, you managed this. It was outside of the UK, correct? So
yes.
Launching the service, distributing the service across how many markets?
Well, across the Nordics, US, Canada, and Australia. And then we were in South Africa, but we pulled out of that a couple of years ago.
Okay. And so you were a new kid on the block, right? You launched, 5 years ago? Is that correct? Is it a bit more than that?
Nearly 8 years ago.
Oh my God, time flies.
And 6 years ago in Australia.
Okay.
So, originally BritBox was a joint venture between BBC and ITV. It focused on North America where the content was undersold. And channels or streaming service would cherry-pick British content. But obviously there was this huge vat of content underneath that we believed we had a route to market. And from those sort of acorn days has grown a really deep and strong service in the speciality sector. And I would say BritBox is probably the leading speciality subscription service in the market in North America and in Australia today.
And for those who don't know, is it a home where you can binge all the great British content that you're putting out there?
Yeah, so it aggregates across a number of different genres. I would say that strength is very mystery, crime, drama, scripted drama. It has the typical British sensibility of 6 to 8 episodes in any one series. And then we have a strong returner pipeline. We do a lot of co-productions and commissions with ITV or with the Independents or indeed with the BBC to get really high quality content to market.
So when you started 8 years ago, of course you come to a big market and not any big market, the US, with the brand that people don't know, and so you were on the commercial side, so that means distribution for those who don't know. What was the approach like? Where did you want to be as a service to be sure that you would be meeting your potential audiences?
So originally it was two parties putting the content together and launching an app. Then very quickly on the back of that, Amazon Channels launched, and then all the other syndicated partners launched as well. And BritBox had a real defined view of what they were serving to the market. The years since then, so I joined around sort of 5 years into that 5 years ago, 3.5 years into that journey. And at that point, BritBox was on the main platforms, but generally was under distributed. So then it was about getting the service out everywhere. The challenge for a speciality service is always awareness and validated awareness. And that has led to some very strong partnerships that have allowed us to really dig into our segmentation, find those consumers and bring them onto the platform. The opportunity with a specialty service is you're growing a community and a fandom. And the stronger that fandom gets, the opportunity you have to put them into different models, into, annuals is very successful within our world, which then reduces your monthly churn. So it's about finding the right consumer, bringing them onto the platform, and then your lifetime value is significantly improves.
So Bengo released a report just a couple of days ago, and in there you see that I think over a third of subscriptions are now indirect, right? So there's someone between the consumer and the streamer. To the point you were making, it feels like some, and we have Netflix and Disney and a few others, who are actually maybe the only last two who are not bundling with anyone else in a meaningful way. But so you need that, intermediary, you need that, in some cases, that gatekeeper to a streaming service like Amazon, to a CTV platform, etc. The question is now, are you still, nurturing people that you acquire directly, and then that big new world for you, is it bigger? Like, I have to say, between the two, how many, if you can share, most of your subscribers are coming from where? Direct, indirect?
They come from all over.
Okay.
So the important thing is about incrementality. If you do a distribution agreement with any service, you need to be thinking, are you cannibalizing your service, or are they adding people that you would find difficult to get? And the beauty of syndication services is there's lots of other people on there. And you can drop, good old home video drafting. You're drafting off other people's titles and finding a consumer group that actually like you, that is very hard to get directly. Seeing that, the direct consumers are super important. We have a huge amount of data. We actually get data, a lot better data now on both sides. But it really allows us to understand what the ROI is in content, what the ROI is on every single penny that we spend on marketing, down to bundles with other services on those platforms. But to me, the key is it incremental? When I first came in, the board was very of the view that you were just giving money away with Amazon. Or with Roku channels, or with Apple channels. Actually, what you find is it's 80 to 90% incremental. Yeah. And the cannibalization you see on O&O is very small compared to the incrementality you get on the syndication. You've got to deliver your service wherever the customers are. Customers want to manage their bills. They want to subscribe in different channels as well. So it's not really about what's the revenue share with that. It's around what's the incrementality and what's the lifetime value of the customers in each of those different distribution platforms.
Absolutely. Yeah, and at the end of the day, you said you need to be where customers are, but you need to offer them what they want and need, and sometimes they don't know. But what we're seeing more and more from the market, and you've mentioned the fact that annuals are a big part of your subscribers, and it's a good way for you to avoid that monthly churn that a lot of streamers are seeing right now. We need to make people's life easy, so we keep them. Content is great. Content does it all. But if it's hard to find you, to consume your content, to pay your bill, there's only so much content can do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you said that, when you say syndication, that's interesting. It's people are talking marketplaces, syndication. So we are talking about Roku, premium subscription, Amazon Prime, etc., etc. So these guys have been, and especially for specialty streamers, I've heard that those are, the main, especially in the US, the main distribution channel in terms of, acquiring, etc., new subscribers. Now, you could be doing bundling with others. I'm thinking telcos. Do you do that too?
We do in the Nordics.
Yeah.
There's less telcos in North America. The telcos haven't necessarily, other than if it's part of a pay TV platform. You see different progression in terms of those bundling opportunities with telcos in different parts of the world. Some, they may be an add-on, they may be a bundle into the premium tier, they may be a whole host of others. But in general, in North America, they're picking a small amount of those subscribers. What we are seeing evolving in terms of bundles is the opportunity to bundle with other streamers, bigger streamers. So we did a pop-up last year, for example, and where we we distributed 15 titles within the HBO Max environment. Oh, wow. That was only for 2 months. And it was to do with the fact that Max had The Gilded Age coming out and didn't necessarily have the shoulder programming to go around that. So it was an experiment, and we are experimenting. We have found that was valuable. As an always-on promotional bundle, it may not be. But for a particular period of time, we found customers coming to the platform. From their side, they're super serving a particular segment during that time and adding value add to their customers. For us, it's about building awareness. And we did see for a couple of months after, in our acquisition surveys and our new user surveys, people saying that they heard about us through that trial. Again, would we have that always on? Probably not. It's a very strategic promotion and partnership during that period of time.
That's fascinating. I had never heard of that, actually. So if you bear with me, because I'm keen to understand a bit more. So HBO Max in the US, and for, you said 2 months?
2 months.
Was it, your titles were there, but was it possible to understand it was coming from you? Was it branded?
Yeah. So there was a branded reel.
Oh, wow.
There was an entry card and an exit card. So consumers, that's where they found out the name, and that they found content that was different, but it had a similar sensibility to the programming they had gone in to watch on HBO Max.
Oh, I love it. I think that's a very interesting way of doing this, and I like the pop-up approach and kind of test and learning, and then
it was definitely experimental, and the data from that is actually just coming through our multimedia mix model now. So over the next few months, we'll really be able to sort of identify what value was created within that service.
And whether you could do that again somewhere else?
We might do that again, yes, somewhere else, or potentially even with them. But it is, it's an experiment. And I think for the speciality streamers out there, and for some of the bigger guys actually, understanding you don't really know how any of this is going to play until you do the experiment. So things like, those pop-ups create security around experimenting and trying new things.
So when it comes to bundling, at the core, right, there's a bill, there's a subscription, there's a customer relationship, there's a transactional customer relationship. And what we're seeing right now is that we're seeing more and more companies that maybe we wouldn't have thought a few years back making moves in that space. I'm thinking banks, retailers. You have the German retailer launching a MVNO in the UK. Right now, it's going to be mobile only. But, we all know that mobile internet, very nice, but you want something on top. And very often it is content, it is video. So is there any moves that you guys are, contemplating, working with people who are maybe, going outside of your typical, Amazon or Telco or CTV platform?
We're in discussions with lots of different people from that perspective. I think it's the most important is there a route to monetization? Does it make sense? Or are you cannibalizing from another route? And so I think it's really exciting, some of those services opening up, but it's only exciting if the economics work out and it, or it is lowering your subscriber acquisition cost. And that's what it comes down to. A bundle makes sense, or I turn bundling a little bit more between streamers rather than between platforms or different retail outlets. But to me, it's the delivery of your service or a marketing approach, which I think the the sort of bank retail services fall more into, or a consumer finding the adjacent consumer, reaching slightly outside your sort of your service obtainable market into the target market, which is a little bit wider but harder to reach into. And those are the likes of, we did a Hallmark BritBox bundle over Christmas.
Oh, really
Obviously
cool.
the strong seasonality. Yeah. Why would they want to do it? Because coming out of that seasonal period, they see high churn.
Yeah.
We are a service that traditionally has lower churn. We're about the same size, but during that period of time, we could sort of ride on their coattails. Yeah. After that, they get the benefit from protecting their churn a little bit. The first one we did was with Stars for a similar. They were much bigger in North America than us, but again, we have a complementary churn rate. So there's a segmentation that overlaps between our customer base that we can help them on. And then the last one is MGM Plus, which we partnered with Amazon.
Oh yeah, actually I saw that. So it means that within a marketplace like Amazon or Roku, you could get the opportunity to be bundled amongst fellow
most
streamers.
Of our bundles are within those opportunities, within those marketplaces right now. The reason being, app to app is still technically something that's not as easy. We have done it with Stars within their retail space. So again, we're looking at them, we're trying them, we're looking at the data that's provided, what impact it has on churn, what impact it has on the subscriber acquisition costs, and then what the lifetime value of each of those customers are, depending whether they come through direct, through a platform, or through another.
I love it. I think, what I'm reading between the lines is, so one is that you're a specialty streamer and you have your identity, your DNA. And so actually that allows you to go to many places, but you need to be careful, so to say, with where you go, because you need to make sure it matches. And to your point, it does not cannibalize. What you said about not bundling with, everything that's around, I get it, especially from an experience perspective, because it's nice to pitch it as two things and maybe get a discount, etc. But what I've noticed, because I've subscribed to a few of those, is the onboarding process then can be very tedious.
Be tricky. And that is still, I think, in sort of a la carte bundles between different D2C. And you do have people like Bango who are trying to make that sign-up journey easier. There's still a lot of gremlins in that process right now for us. And so we are looking at that ability. A service that is fully ingested and you're totally on their platform, it's much easier for them to turn around a bundle. But picking the bundle, making sure that bundle is additive, and the discount that you may be offering is about reducing the subscriber acquisition cost, but finding that adjacent customer gives you your incrementality.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. That was amazing. I could have stayed hours, but we're on the clock. So thank you, everyone. That was an amazing series of videos. You'll see me next time.